Alright, what's up everybody, back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we're going to be doing a redraft video, and this one is on the 2013 NBA draft. Now, the 2013 draft was actually 10 years ago, which is honestly kind of crazy to think about that. It was 10 years ago, and is also known as one of the weaker drafts that we've had in the last few years. Looking back on it, didn't age that great. Of course, we had some players that are really good, but we also had a lot of players that didn't really make a big impact. But yeah, we're doing a redraft today. I think got some views on the videos in the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. Also at TikTok at EverydayHoops10 if you don't know, and on Twitter or X, sorry, at EverydayHoops10 if you didn't know. Links are always in the description. But yeah, I think got some views on the shorts recently. If you do like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications also right there. I'd really appreciate it. We've said a lot, and yeah, let's get right into it. So before we start the redraft, just want to give you a quick little notice. This is my personal opinion on where I would draft these guys. I'm not doing it based on the team at that time and team fit. I'm doing it just solely based off the players. And yeah, we also got some undrafted players that weren't drafted in this draft that made some things in the NBA as well. We got that. But yeah, let's get right into it. Start with the number 1 overall pick. And the first pick in the 2013 NBA redraft, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Giannis was usually the 15th pick, and he's a no doubter. He's already a top NBA 75 anniversary team. He's still 28 years old. His resume is insane. NBA champion, Finals MVP, 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defensive Team, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star MVP, Most Improved Player. Just everything. For his career, he averaged just 22 and 9 with 4 assists, a steal, and a block. Was shooting 53% for the field. He's one of the greatest players we've seen in the modern era. One of the best players in the league, and he's a no-doubter, number 1 overall. Now, with the second pick in the 2013 NBA redraft, the Orlando Magic select Rudy Gobert from France. Gobert was originally the 27th pick. He jumps up to the 2nd overall pick in the redraft. And say what you want about Rudy Gobert. Obviously, you want him to be better and stuff like that. But Rudy obviously has built a very good career for himself. His awards is a 3-time All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Defensive Team. For his career, he averages 12 and 11 with 2 blocks per game, shooting 65% from the field. One of the best defenders, rim protectors we've seen in the past few years. And probably going to be a Hall of Famer, if we're going to be honest, just based off his defensive resume alone. Probably will be in the Hall of Fame, even though, you know, people won't like that too much. Still, I mean, got to give it to Rudy. He's had a great career, and he goes number 2 in the redraft. With the third pick of the 2013 redraft, the Washington Wizards select C.J. McCollum from Lehigh. McCollum was usually the 10th overall pick, and even though he doesn't have the accolades like a lot of people do, his only accolade is he won Most Improved Player in 2016. Still one of the better careers in this draft. He's played a long time. For his career, averages 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 45% from the field, 39% from 3. He's had some really good years. Just a very solid scorer ever since after his 2nd year in the NBA. He's been a consistent 20 to 23 point per game scorer. One of the better, more underrated guards in the league, even though he's never made an All-Star appearance. He's probably the greatest player in the NBA history to ever make an All-Star game. And yeah, he's still 31 years old, still has a lot of game left in him, and just a really good guard. You know, who wouldn't want to see C.J. McCollum on their team? With the 4th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Charlotte Bobcats select Victor Oladipo from Indiana. Oladipo is usually the 2nd overall pick. He drops a few spots to 4. It was very kind of tough to have him drop, even though he's one of 3 All-Stars to make it in this draft. But the last years of injuries have really haunted him ever since after the 2019 season. It's been kind of downhill from there. But for his career, he's 2-time All-Star, made 2018's All-NBA team, also made All-Defensive Team, won Most Improved Player that year. For his career, he averaged 17, 4 and 4 with the steal, shooting 43% from the field and 34% from 3. It took him a little while to really figure it out, but once he got to Indiana, that first 2018 year was phenomenal. He averaged 23 points and 2.4 steals per game. Then he went down to 18 after suffering the injury, and then 14. And from then on, he's just been trying to get back into the league, get back to just stay healthy, honestly. But in this draft class, he's one of the better players in this draft. I mean, his peak was really good, even though injuries have really kind of altered his career, he's still been really good. With the 5th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Phoenix Suns select Dennis Schroeder from Germany. Schroeder was originally the 17th overall pick, and yeah, Dennis Schroeder being a top 5 pick in a redraft, that should tell you right there what this draft is going to be. But Dennis Schroeder has been very, very good. For his career, he averages 14, 3, and 4 assists, shoot 43% from the field and 33% from 3. Even though he doesn't have any accolades to his name, he's still just a really good guard. You know, in Atlanta, he was really good coming off the bench and then becoming their starter. At his peak, he averaged 19 points per game in 2018 with the Hawks. Then he went to the Thunder and was a really good 6-man. Then he's been around with the Lakers. He was really good. Went Boston. He was in the back with the Lakers, and now he's going to be the starting point guard for the Raptors coming into next year. But Dennis Schroeder's a very solid point guard. You know, he's not a top-tier elite guy, but he's a guy you would like to have on your bench. Probably as your 6-man backup guard. He's really good in that role. With the 6th pick in the 2013 redraft, the New Orleans Hornets select Steven Adams from Pitt. Adams was originally the 12th overall pick. For his career, he averages 9 points, 8 rebounds, and a block, shooting 58% from the field. It's kind of similar to Dennis Schroeder. He's not a super top tier elite big man, but he's just a really good starter. You know, he's been a starter for basically his entire career in OKC. He was really, really good. New Orleans, Memphis, the last 2 years, he's been very solid for them as well. Just a really good starting center, one of the strongest dudes in the league. Just does his job, you know, rebounds, protects the rim, and gets easy buckets, you know, on offensive boards and on easy dump-ins. Like, that's what he does. And he does a really, really dang good job at it. So yeah, Steven Adams, just one of the better teammates in the league as well. With the 7th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Sacramento Kings select Kentavious Caldwell-Pope from Georgia. KCP is a 2-time NBA champion, a starter on both those championship teams as well. For his career, he averages 11.5 points, 3 rebounds, and assists and a steal, shooting 42% from the field and 36% from 3. One of the better 3-and-D wings in the league. On Detroit, he was very solid, but just no one really took a lot of notice of him because he played in Detroit. Then went to the Lakers and was really, really good. Won a championship there. Was a starter. Then was at Washington. He did pretty solid. And last year, he was a key starter on a championship team with the Nuggets. Just fit in perfectly there. And yeah, KCP is just a really good wing you want on your team. You know, defends pretty well. And on offense, he's going to do his job, shoot the 3-ball. He does at a really good clip. With the 8th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Detroit Pistons select Tim Hardaway Jr. from Michigan. THJ has been a really solid player for his career. He averages 14, 3, and 2, shooting 42% from the field and 36% from 3. He has some solid years in New York, Atlanta, who really got popped off, then in Dallas the last few years. He's been really, really good as just a microwave kind of scorer. He's been a starter and he's been a 6-man. I like him in that 6-man role, just come off the bench and be a flamethrower microwave. You know, when he's hot, he's hot. He's one of the better, you know, coming off the bench scoring guards. Fortunately, it's not like that all the time, but when he gets it going, he can really light up the scoreboard. With the 9th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Minnesota Timberwolves will trade this pick to the Utah Jazz and select Kelly Olynyk from Gonzaga. Olynyk was originally the 13th overall pick in this draft. Olynyk, just another very solid big man. For his career, he averages 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 36% from 3. He had a really good run in Boston. In Miami, he was very solid. In Houston, he played really, really good. And the last few years, he's been in Detroit, Utah, where he's been very solid as well. He's just, very solid stretch 5 that can also do a little bit more. He can score in the paint. He can pass the ball pretty solid. Defensively, he's okay. He's just a really solid player overall. You know, not someone that's going to do too much wrong. And if you have him as your backup power forward center, you feel confident in him. With the 10th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers select Robert Covington from Tennessee State. Covington was an undrafted player in this draft, and he ends up in the top 10 in the redraft. That's how crazy it was. He only has one accolade, all defensive team in 2018. He's had a very solid career. For his career, he averages 11, 5, an assist, 1.5 steals, and a block, shooting 40% from the field and 36% from 3. Really came out to the scene when he was in Philly. During the process there, he's really good. And everywhere he's gone, he's just been a very solid, one of the better defending wings in the league. Could be a small ball, 4, 5, shoots a 3-ball very solidly. And yeah, just a really solid. You want him on your team if you're a playoff team coming off the bench and you need someone to guard, a wing, a guard, somebody, throw him out there. You can do it. You know, you can also knock down the three at a very solid clip as well. So yeah, Rocco, man, look at him, undrafted player to top 10 in the redraft, man. That's really, really impressive. With the 11th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Seth Curry from Duke University. Curry was also an undrafted player in this draft class, and now he goes in the lottery. Curry, for his career, averages 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 47% from the field, 43% from 3. One of the better three-point shooters in all time in terms of percentage. It took him a little while to really find a fixture in the NBA, but he did with the Mavericks back in 2017. Ever since then, he's been really good. One of the better shooting guards in the league. There's always a room for him. You know, just a guy who's going to be lights out from the field, but can also do a little bit more. Can handle the ball pretty solidly. Can run the pick and roll well. And yeah, he's just a really good basketball player. You know, who wouldn't want to have a sharpshooter like him on your team? With the 12th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Mason Plumlee from Duke University. Plumlee was originally the 22nd pick in this draft. Plumlee just another very solid starting or maybe even backup center. For his career, he averages 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, shooting 59% from the field. It took him a little while to really find his spot. Once he got to Portland and Denver, he was really solid. Detroit, he was really good. Charlotte, he was solid. And then now he's really solid backup for the Clippers. Just a good center that you can have on your team, you know. Doesn't do much wrong. Sneaky athleticism, can go up and get it. Very solid defender. Good ball handler, and has a good passing IQ as well for his size. And just a really solid big man. You know, you're gonna hear me say a lot in the draft. The draft didn't have a lot of big hitters, but they just had a lot of just solid role players. With the 13th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Dallas Mavericks will send this pick to the Boston Celtics and select Otto Porter Jr. from Georgetown. Otto was originally the 3rd pick in this draft, and he falls to the 13th pick. Another really good wing. For his career, he averages 10.5 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, and a steal, shooting 47% from the field and 39% from 3. At Washington, he was really, really good as a two-way wing, can defend, can shoot the 3-ball well. He's been around the league since then because of his contract. He won a championship with the Warriors in 2022. He is a key bench player. Even though injuries have kind of hurt him a lot in his career, he's still very solid. Very solid wing that can play both ends, doesn't do much wrong on the court. And yeah, injuries aside, he's been very, very solid. With the 14th pick of the 2013 redraft, Utah Jazz will send this pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves and select Reggie Bullock from North Carolina. Bullock was originally the 25th pick of this draft. He's another really good shooter. For his career, he averages 7 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, shooting 42% from the field, 38% from 3. And it took him a while to really find his spot in the league. He did it in 2018 with Detroit. And ever since then, he's been on multiple different teams. Now he was on Dallas. Now I think he's still in San Antonio. But just a really good 3-and-D wing. You know, on the offensive end, he's going to shoot the 3-ball well. Inconsistent here and there, but he's still going to be a plus shooter. And then defensively as well, he can really lock in and do some things. Definitely a guy that a lot of playoff teams will love to have. And he's really, aged pretty well. Even though the first few years of his career, he didn't really do much. He really found his spot, found what he's good at, and has really done well with it. Now he's a lottery pick in this redraft. Right now we're outside the lottery. We're getting into the end of the first round. With the 15th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Cody Zeller from Indiana. Zeller was originally the 4th overall pick of this draft. Big fall off from Giannis and Cody Zeller. But yeah, Zeller for his career averages 8 points, 6 rebounds, and assists, shooting 52% from the field. Had a long time in Charlotte. He was a starting center. And then last few years he's been around the league a little bit. But he's just a decent backup center. You know, rebounds pretty well. He's going to score inside when you need him to. Doesn't really do too much else, but you don't want him to do too much of. You just need him to be 6'11". That's how you need him to be a 6'11 center, and he can do that pretty solid. And now he's back in the league with New Orleans. He's still 30 years old. He can still contribute to a very solid playoff team. With the 16th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Boston Celtics will send this pick to the Atlanta Hawks and select Gorgui Dieng from Louisville. Dieng was originally the 21st pick in this draft. Dieng Very decent backup big man for his career. Just 7 points, 5 rebounds, and assists. Shooting 49% from the field and 35% from three. You forget about his shooting ability. He's actually a very solid shooter. Even though he doesn't take a whole lot, most he's ever taken in a year was 2.5. But even then, I mean, he's about a 35 to 40, even above 40% 3-point shooter. And yeah, probably gonna have a role, even though I don't know if he's on a team right now. But I'm really surprised if he gets back in the league. Just having a role as a decent backup center that can space the floor. With the 17th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Atlanta Hawks select Alex Len from Maryland. Len was originally the 5th pick in this draft. Len, another solid backup center that just keeps finding a way back into the league. For his career, just 7 points and 5 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field and 32% from three. He's found a really solid role with the Sacramento Kings as a backup. It took him a while to really find a spot that really need him. You know, he spent his first few years in Phoenix, and he's been around from Atlanta, Sacramento, Toronto, Washington, back in Sacramento. And now over there, he's finally found a decent role, even though the Kings keep signing backup centers for some reason. Len is very solid. Is 7 feet tall. He can do 7-footer things. You know, can rebound well, can score inside well, and can even pass the ball at a solid clip. With the 18th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Atlanta Hawks send this pick to the Boston Celtics, and they select Ben McLemore from Kansas. McLemore was originally the 7th pick in this draft, and yeah, didn't have the greatest of careers in the NBA, but still, honestly did better than what you expected considering all the stuff around him. McLemore for his career averages 9 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, shooting 41% from the field and 36% from three. In Sacramento, just things didn't really work out too well. That was around the league, went to Memphis, went back to Sacramento, Houston, the Lakers, Portland. Didn't play in the league last year. He's still trying to find a way back into the league. He's still only 30 years old. As a guy that came in really athletic, had a lot of potential, probably just got drafted to the wrong team and couldn't really find his footing after he left that team, which sucks. But looking at his numbers and stuff, it looked like he had a pretty okay career. With the 19th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Mike Muscala. Muscala was originally the 44th pick in this draft. He's one of the players still left in the league in this class that hasn't been drafted yet. For his career, just 6 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 45% from the field and 38% from three. Just a solid stretch 5 that you need him when you need him. You know, not gonna blow you away with anything other than his shooting ability, which he's very, very good. Especially in 2022, shot 43% from three as a center. That's really, really good. But I mean, yeah, just we need a big man that can stretch the floor. Get Mike Muscala. That's what it is. With the 20th pick in the 2013 redraft, the Chicago Bulls select Nerlens Noel from Kentucky. Noel was originally the 6th overall pick, and injuries definitely have kind of tilted his career in not a great way. For his career, just 7 points, 6 rebounds and assists, a steal, and 1.5 blocks, shooting 54% from the field. And Philly is solid, and then he's just been bouncing around the league, just trying to find a home. He was in Dallas, OKC, New York, Detroit. He played 3 games with Brooklyn last year, and now he's in Sacramento. Really good defender, honestly. Solid defender that, you know, could do many different things on defensive end, offensively. I don't know how much athleticism he has left, but he's still only 29 years old. It's kind of weird. I feel like he's like 33 or something. I don't know why I thought he was older than that. But he did come to the NBA at 19. But he's just, yeah, injuries just really have affected his career. But I mean, if you need a guy that's going to come in and give it all on the defensive end, that's your guy, Nerlens Noel. With the 21st pick at the 2013 redraft, the Utah Jazz send this pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they select Trey Burke from Michigan. Burke was originally the 9th overall pick in this class. For his career, averages 9 points and a rebound and 3 assists, shooting 41% from the field and 34% from three. Things just didn't really work out too much for Burke. He was very solid in Utah and went around the league in Washington, New York. He kind of had a resurgence. Then was in Dallas, where he was okay. Went to Philly, went back to Dallas, where he kind of had a little resurgence. Hasn't been in the league. Wasn't in the league last year. He was in the G League, but trying to find a way back. He's still only 30 years old. Just a scoring guard, you know, a point guard. If you need a bucket, he's got to get it to. Unfortunately, just the mold of his player isn't great. You know, being a very small point guard that's not really more of a 2 guard, but he's in a point guard's body. doesn't really facilitate and do point guard things. He's more of a get bucket shooting guard, even though he's only 6 foot tall. So it's just really tough to find kind of his mold in the league. But I mean, he's still a guy that can bring it offensively if you need him to. With the 22nd pick of the 2013 redraft, the Brooklyn Nets select Tony Snell from New Mexico. Snell was originally the 20th pick of this draft. A really decent wing player. Was around the league for a little while. For his career, averaged 6 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, shooting 43% from the field and 39% from three. Wasn't in the league last year. The year before, he was in Portland and New Orleans for a little while. Was in Chicago, Milwaukee. Just an okay backup wing that you need him to play. You know, really solid 3-point shooter. Shot 40% from the three for a few years. He shot 57% from three in 2021, even though he only played in 47 games. Really good free throw shooter as well. Hasn't missed a free throw in a very, very long time. But yeah, just an okay wing that if you need him to come play, he'll come play. At this point, I'm running out of a lot of things, man. This draft is pretty bad, looking back on it. With the 23rd pick of the 2013 redraft, the Indiana Pacers select Michael Carter Williams from Syracuse. He originally was the 11th overall pick. He won Rookie of the Year in this class, which is really insane that now, looking back at it, he went 23rd after winning Rookie of the Year. But yeah, for his career, just 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal, shooting 40% from the field, 25% from three. He peaked as a rookie, and after that, things dwindled down. Injuries started to hit. Was bouncing around teams, went from Philly to Milwaukee to Chicago, Charlotte, Houston, Orlando. I don't even know if you guys remember, he played 4 games last year in the NBA with Orlando. Yeah, he did. Got signed to the end of the year randomly. He likes it there in Orlando, I guess. Orlando likes him. But yeah, fortunately, things didn't really work out too much for him. But he's still in the league. Still a very decent point guard that's big, that can play the 2 guard as well. Defend solidly. Even though he can't really shoot the ball, he can facilitate at an okay clip. And yeah, still has kind of a role, I guess, in the league somewhere. With the 24th pick of the 2013 redraft, the New York Knicks select Raul Neto from Brazil. Neto was originally the 47th pick in this draft. Neto for his career averaged just 5 points, a rebound, 2 assists, shooting 45% from the field and 36% from three. He didn't come to the NBA until 2 years after this class. And then he's been around. He played in Utah, Philly, Washington, Cleveland. Currently is on a team. Had an unfortunate injury in FIBA, which I hope he gets better from. But yeah, just an okay backup point guard. You know, he doesn't do much wrong. Really aggressive as well, solid defensively. Yeah, just that dog backup point guard that if you need some energy, he can come in and bring it. With the 25th pick of the 2013 redraft, the LA Clippers select Daniel Theis from Germany. Theis was actually undrafted in this class. He's playing in Germany for a while, came over in 2017. He's been a very solid center. For his career, averaged just 7 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, shooting 54% from the field and 32% from three. Even though he's undersized, he's only 6'8" as a big man, he can do really good things, you know, really good screen setter, shooter, defending pretty solid as well. Was in Boston where he was really good, then has bounced around the league a little bit, Chicago, Houston, Indiana, back to Boston. He's still in Indiana right now. He's been around, but just an okay veteran center that if you need some decent big man minutes, he can provide you with them. With the 26th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Minnesota Timberwolves send this pick to the Thunder. It selects Solomon Hill from Arizona. Solomon Hill was originally the 23rd pick in this draft. Hill had a really good college career. Unfortunately, that didn't really translate too much to the NBA, but he still had a really decent career. For his career, averaged 5.5 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, shooting 38% from the field, 33% from three. Has been around the league in Indiana, New Orleans, Memphis, Miami, Atlanta. Didn't play in the league last year, but just a good veteran. You know, he always probably will be back in the league maybe. He's just one of those guys that always found himself on a decent team. He always found himself on a team just because, I guess, his veteran leadership, his teammate ability. On the court, he's an okay wing. You know, defensively he's solid. Doesn't do too much in the offensive end. But, yeah. I don't really know what else to say, man. It's getting very desperate at this point. With the 27th pick of the 2013 redraft, the Denver Nuggets send this pick to Utah Jazz and select Andre Roberson from Colorado. Roberson was originally the 26th pick in this draft. He falls down one spot. He made an all-defensive team in 2017. Was known as a defensive stopper. For his career, averaged just 4.5 points and 4 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field, 25% from three. Wasn't doing much on the offensive end, but he really made his mark defensively. He was a starter for the OKC Thunder. He was really good. Unfortunately, injuries kind of ended his career pretty early. He hasn't played in the league since 2021 with the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, just really unfortunate how things turned out with his injury, because he's one of the better wing defenders in the league. And he's still 31 years old. I don't know if he's going to find his way back to the league, but Roberson, he's really solid. With the 20th pick of the 2013 redraft, the San Antonio Spurs select James Ennis III from Cal State Long Beach. Ennis was originally the 50th pick in this class. For his career, he averaged just 6 points and 3 rebounds on 45% shooting, 36% from 3. He was a really solid wing. I honestly forgot what happened to James Ennis. He was a really solid wing. Played for a lot more teams than I realized. He started with Miami, was in Memphis, New Orleans, Memphis again, Detroit, Houston, Philly, Orlando, Brooklyn, Clippers, Nuggets. As for his last year, 2022, he played 7 games with 3 different teams. Was a really solid two-way wing. Defensively, he's really versatile, can do different things. Offensively, was a decent 3-point shooter and pretty athletic. But yeah, man, I forgot what happened to Ennis. He's still 33 years old. I don't know if he's gonna get back into the league, but when he was in the league, he was solid. Really solid wing that always found his way on a playoff team. The 29th pick of the 2013 redraft, the OKC Thunder send this pick to the Phoenix Suns and select Allen Crabbe from Cal. Crabbe was originally the 31st pick in this class. Crabbe's another one of those guys that just kind of disappeared from the league randomly. For his career, averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, shooting 42% from the field, 38% from 3. Was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Portland, he was really good. Had multiple 40% shooting seasons from 3. Then went to Brooklyn, got paid a lot of money, was in Atlanta, Minnesota, and has been in the league since 2020. He's still 31 years old. Yeah, I really don't know what happened to Allen Crabbe, man. He was a lights out 3-point shooter, and then all of a sudden he just kind of vanished. He would have been perfect for this game right now, but I don't know. Now with the 30th and final pick of the 2013 NBA redraft that we're doing here, the Phoenix Suns will send this pick to the Golden State Warriors, and they will select Matthew Dellavedova from St. Mary's. Della was originally undrafted in this class, NBA champion in 2016 with the Cavaliers, gave his all. For his career, averaged just 5 points, a rebound, and 3 assists, shooting 38% from the field, 36% from 3. Was still in the NBA last year with the Kings. Made his mark in Cleveland, where he was a really key part of a championship team, playing Milwaukee for a little while, went back to Cleveland, left the league, then came back last year with Sacramento. But yeah, really good, feisty point guard that you want fighting for you on your team. Yeah, that's it for this video, 2013 redraft. Looking back on it, pretty bad class, pretty bad class. The number 1 overall pick didn't even get selected in the redraft in the first round. That's insane. That just shows you everything about this class you really need to know. But thank you guys for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, turn notifications, all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.